everybody. I literally didn't expect that to happen.
Welcome to Building Character.
Yes, as I destroy all
We're off
things.
to a great start.
Yes, welcome to Building Character. I am your host, Rick.
The magic of live television. I'm Carrie. I work for Gemstone Publishing.
And she's kind of our co-host on this. She's been on like
a few times.
More than 50% of these episodes.
Okay.
So Carrie's here today to help us with a Building Character build. We've got this cool miniature.
Yeah, I'm going to put it under the camera here. I don't know. You can get that. Yeah, there you go. I think this is a really cool me because it looks like me. If I
a killer?
if I was fit, that'd be me. A white girl with brown hair, at the very least. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
I'm just gonna move this because I feel like it's gonna explode again.
It's probably a good idea. Gonna turn on the rotator.
Yes.
Yay!
Where'd all the miniatures go? Did they all die? They all
Did.
Dead.
Oh wow. Well.
Because we're building a party is what we're doing.
Yeah.
It seems like that's where we're at.
So you're continuing from last week,
which
was the barbarian.
The barbarian.
Human barb?
He is a human barbarian.
Okay.
Kynan Clobberjaw.
All right.
It's a good name.
Yeah, that's good. Good
and
for
then,
a barb.
Hank and Steve are with us from an earlier build. You can see Hank and Steve on there on the rotator. So
there
you
we
have
go. Yeah, that looks good.
Kynan right there. And but so first things first, we got to come up with stats for your character.
Yeah, I guess I gotta start rolling. So when I'm rolling, when I'm building characters for my own play, we do a point buy system most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the randomness of the dice roll is never. Ooh, you know what?
You'll take it?
That's a 16. Because you disregard the lowest. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to share this into
That's 14, all right.
Christopher says your character, she's doing the Peter Pan stance.
Yeah, that's true. So do we want to make her a wood elf accordingly?
Ooh.
Another 14. We're getting some all right rolls here to begin with. Maybe I should roll more often. All right, that's less good. Actually, it's another 14. I'm getting a lot of 14s. Could be worse.
Yeah, 14s are still pretty good.
Charles says Wood Elf Ranger.
Ooh.
I wanted to go with a ranger, and Rick was like, "Oh, you have to listen to the chat." So
That's right.
The chat can say that I get to do
us
a ranger.
Well, we'd like to have the community actually help us with the build and kind of give us that. You know, it's your character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but we are putting a party together here, a party of swarthy adventurers. Is that a word, swarthy?
Swarthy?
I like it if it
I
is.
think so.
Johnny says
I have a master's in professional writing. I feel like I should know if that's a word or not.
Johnny says it is. Johnny's ancient, so he would know.
Bob says the octagon of dice rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's it.
We've got our stats?
Yeah.
Those are good.
Nothing lower than a 13, so.
Nice.
Pretty good. So, should we go? I guess we have to start at the beginning.
So Christopher Green wants to know, do we play with these characters after we create them? We would like to, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the episodes of Building Character here in the near future, take all the characters we built, and make them available for PDF or use. So you guys can use them as NPCs or pre-gen characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because that's something, you know, obviously it's very easy for people to come up with characters that they want to play themselves. I feel like it's a little more difficult for a DM to come up with compelling NPCs.
It's labor intensive. It's tasking.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I gotta, and that's one of the things. Everybody should appreciate their dungeon masters.
Yes.
Is because they do put a lot of hard work into it and making. Yeah, it's homework. And they, coming up with NPCs and storylines and plot hooks and all these other things. They're literally scripting out an entire world for you. So yeah, give them some appreciation. And if they decide to pull some of these amazing characters to throw at you, give them some real love there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buy all the snacks.
And then give us some love, too.
Let's see, we got Richard Morris, who I know. Hey, Richard. Looking for a board game for the boys. What do you recommend? Here, Kitty Kitty, or Kitty Bug Slap.
Young?
Yes.
Okay. I actually just picked up from the good old Target last week, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes.
The board game. Now that's something where you need at least 4 people to play it. But if you've got 4 people, that's fun. That's a delight, even if they're unfamiliar with the original show. And if they're young, they probably wouldn't be familiar with the show,
Right.
because that show is like 20 years old at least.
They wouldn't know anything about it. Robert Love Pre-Gens cuts my time for prep in half as a DM.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's the best. So my character that I'm going to continue working on is Kanan Clobberjaw, which is awesome. Which you guys in the chat were there to come up with that. And he's a barbarian, and on the rotator here, he's the bald-headed guy with the big 2-handed sword. This guy with the shield with the face is Steve.
Who's been cursed.
And Hank is the wielder of Steve, the
Yes.
shield, and they're brothers. But this is the beginnings of our party.
Yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
This is, I feel like we probably need like a cleric at some point.
And a caster.
Yeah, just to balance it out. You don't
Yeah.
you don't want a ton of like these heavy hitting kind of fighter and barbarian dudes.
Right.
Because then, you take a lot of damage and then you have nothing to heal it with.
Right?
It becomes a problem.
It does.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm playing D&D tonight.
What?
With a few friends. Yep.
Wow.
Got the crew back together. I've got my tiefling bard, who last time had to do a whole lot of healing words because my husband, who plays a human barbarian, he refers to it as a bearbarian because...
Is he a shapeshifter?
No, not yet.
Not yet. he's like,
yeah, he took a ton of damage and just sort of kept throwing himself into battle, and I'm just like, can you not? I only have so many spell slots.
Nice.
But anyway, I want to see what the chat thinks as far as race on this.
Yeah, so looking at the miniature here, we've got...
Race and class. I'm,
It's
looking at the
female in blue
miniature.
with the bow on her back.
Yeah. So she's got a bow, so personally I feel like that would probably lean really well towards Ranger, though I think when the miniature was posted on the Facebook, someone else said Rogue.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be entirely opposed to, but I kind of just want to build a Ranger for my own personal satisfaction.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, she could easily be a human. She probably couldn't be a drow based on her skin tone. She
Right.
probably couldn't be a half-orc.
Right. She could be a half-elf.
She could be a half-elf.
She could be a wood elf.
Yes.
With her... and a human.
Maybe a high elf. Though I don't necessarily believe a high elf would lend itself particularly well to a ranger build.
What are their preferred skills? Ability score increases?
Longsword, I mean,
Increases.
they do have weapon training in shortbow and longbow, but they're casting.
Yeah.
They have an int boost, whereas wood elf gets a boost to wisdom. They've got the fleet of foot ability, so
Okay.
their base speed is 35 instead of 30.
Oh, wow.
So that I think lends itself real well. That could lend itself really well to ranger or rogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're playing a ranger, that means you can get the hell out of the confrontation and shoot from afar. Whereas if you're playing a rogue, that allows you to run in and stab a bunch of times and then leave.
Stabby pokey.
Yeah.
Ah!
So
Christopher Green says he likes Ranger.
Ranger?
So on my build, I got to come up with an origin. We went with the Outlander last week as the background, but we need to come up with an origin. It's a D10 roll if we want to do that, or we can just pick. And our choices are Forester, Trapper, homesteader, guide, exile or outcast, bounty hunter, pilgrim, tribal nomad.
I like bounty hunter.
I do
a
too.
lot.
Hunter-gatherer or tribal marauder. And again, that's for the character, the bald-headed barbarian with the big two-handed sword. So should we roll? This is your guys' choice, or should we pick one of those? Just let me know what you guys think. And then we'll do that thing. And
Christopher says, I love Bounty Hunter also.
Yeah.
Christopher.
Yeah.
All right.
I like bounty hunter.
All right, so we have 2 for bounty hunter. Next person, and if we get 3 for bounty hunter, first 1 to 3 gets it. I'm sure bounty hunter's gonna be up. 'Cause
Yeah, all right.
it kind of also fits the. One of the things is it kind of fits the group.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah.
In some sense, Hank and Steve, we know there's a curse there, and now, I don't think too many people are going to want to work with them on the
Right.
regulars
Right.
because of their issues. But maybe they make for good bounty hunter
Right.
types.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm kind of between on the race here. So like if I want to see what the chat says, like are we going ranger here? Because I feel like we should go ranger here, and then we can sort of classify the race after that. Race-wise, I'm sort of between half elf and wood elf. So we've already got
Okay.
humans in the group. Let's mix it up a little bit here.
Charles Guptill says Wood Elf Ranger.
Wood elf ranger, I like it. I gotta find the ranger stuff. God. Paladin, we're getting there. There it is, ranger.
Josh over at Mini Painting Studios, you're welcome. I'm glad that your package came in today, and he said it was the best packaged board game he's ever received.
Oh, wow.
He won the
Imperial
Imperial
Assault.
Assault.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He didn't win the
The
Legion.
The Legion.
He won
but
Imperial Assault.
Nice.
Yeah, which is very cool. We do pride ourselves here, and thank you to Brad and shipping for putting that and packing that all up.
Nice.
Charles says, yes, Ranger.
Ranger. All right.
Do I have Xanthar's book?
I'm calling it.
Yes, I do.
I'm calling it. And these are all level 1 characters, yeah?
Mhm.
Alexander says, go crazy and choose a Dragonborn.
She doesn't look like a Dragonborn. I would love to roll a Dragonborn, but we got we got to roll to what the minis are actually looking like here.
Yep. And
I think we do need to introduce a Dragonborn and a Tiefling to this at some point.
to this party,
Yeah.
I do have Dragonborn minis. I'll see if there's a Dragonborn sorcerer.
Ooh.
But yes, I do have Xanthar's Guide to Everything today. So if you guys want to reference anything out of that book, we can pull from this as well. But Alexander, yeah, Dragonborns are a beautiful mini. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a Dragonborn in our party in my game.
Uh-oh.
I think he's a sorcerer. Is he a sorcerer?
Or a paladin.
No,
No.
he's not a paladin. We don't have a
Warlock.
paladin. Yeah, I think he's something. He's a caster.
Okay.
So I like playing casters a lot.
Ooh. So Craig says, make her a fighter, but when she becomes 3rd level, make her an arcane archer. It's like, crap, that's actually
Give me
really
the guide
good.
to everything.
Yeah,
Here.
let's find it. Let's find arcane archer real quick.
So do we want to? If we're going to do that, do I roll her as a 3rd level then?
Well, that's the thing. I think, didn't we make Hank and Steve 5th level?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm almost
okay.
positive.
So, But the barbarian guy is 1st level.
Okay. He's fresh.
He's fresh. Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm doing this in pencil because arcane archer sounds really cool.
It does. All right, so here's fighter.
Oh goodness. There it is, arcane archer.
Yeah.
An arcane archer studies a unique elven method of archery that weaves magic into attacks to produce supernatural effects. Arcane archers are some of the most elite warriors among the elves. They stand watch over the fringes of elven domains, keeping a keen eye out for trespassers. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine.
But as a fallen arcane archer, let's say kind of like fallen, or they no longer protect the borders, they've gone out into the world. And
Yeah.
I can see an arcane archer being like, okay, well, I couldn't defend the borders, but I can definitely hunt down the bad guys and get those bounties.
Trying to maybe redeem herself a little bit. Maybe she wasn't good at her job. Maybe she let someone through the borders.
Yeah. And now she hunts down people. Yeah.
All right.
Craig also says, or Hexblade Warlock with improved packed weapon and Pack of the Blade.
Charles is like, my books are downstairs and I can't get them without waking up my kids. I know the pain, brother.
All right, do I put Arcane Archer as the class? Or Fighter?
Fighter, and then we'll make her 3rd level, and then just make it, just put like near the background of Arcane Archer, but the background is also going to fall under the other stuff as we go through it.
Is that a feature?
Yeah, you can put it as a feature.
Arcane Archer.
Yeah. Arcane Archer does sound cool, and it really fits the bill for this party. Man, this party's going to be wicked cool.
This book is so cool. Yeah. Like, I need to get one, and I haven't done it yet.
It's a good book.
It's a real good one. So, all right. Features Arcane Archer. Let's put a star next to that.
Very cool.
So she gets Arcane Shot, which is really cool. 2 Arcane Shot options of your choice. Seen Arcane Shot options below. You can get Banishing Arrow, Bursting Arrow, Grasping Arrow, Piercing Arrow, Seeking Shadow Arrow. Ooh.
That's a bounty hunter thing too.
Yeah,
Shadow
right?
Arrow or Seeking.
Right.
Like I've got our bounty, we know, and shoot, he goes around a corner, chases them down. It's like,
this is going to be a really cool build. I'm very excited about this now.
Charles says, I like the thought of her failing her duty and then going after them to redeem herself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning on at this point, where, maybe, because, like, the outfit that she has on very much, like, resembles sort of like a guard uniform.
Sure.
So I would say maybe she failed at protecting her town or whatever. Her domain may have fallen accordingly. She blames herself, and now she is seeking redemption for it.
Yeah, so she protecting the borders of her land, of the elven lands that she was, as a Arcane Archer would do, and a bad force came through.
Yeah.
On her watch.
Yeah. Are we going Wood Elf here?
Yeah, Wood Elf.
So.
Yeah, Wood Elf sounds good. Craig says, make sure to take Sharpshooter when you get a feat. And Mini Painting Studio says, at this point, why don't you just multi-class 5 classes?
Why you gotta make our lives difficult like that?
Well, here's why, Josh. Because if you're 5th level and you multi-class 5 classes, you're only the 1st level in each of those classes. Granted, you have a wide variety of skills, but you don't get anything more powerful beyond that 1st level.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
No, yeah, right, and I've actually done that with a character before, and it was so painful. Whereas, I'm 5th level, but I'm still only casting 1st level spells, and our 5th level mage is like blowing everything up, and I'm like, ugh, show off.
All right, so the real key here. Well, first of all, now I gotta do fighting style. I do like Second Wind is always a good one.
Kenny wants to know, how do you guys like Xanthar's Guide to Everything?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great really accessory cool. to the supplement to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're playing on a regular basis and you're like regularly rolling up new characters, definitely get it, because the sort of stuff that they add in here, like Arcane Archer and all these other different sort of archetypes for the different classes, is just so cool, and it adds a level of variety to the game that
absolutely
is not otherwise present necessarily. All right, so I think stat-wise, we're going Dex.
Yeah, Dex.
Highest, and probably Strength, second highest.
Yes, and then Con, and then everything else, whatever. If you want on the...
Yeah, I got 2 14s and a 13. She doesn't necessarily need to be smart. Maybe that's why she...
Well, 13's still
13's
smart.
Still good.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, Alexander says maybe she even helped the villains, thinking their cause was just, and then they came to her town and only after witnessing the devastation realized they were corrupt and evil, which would go along with the lower intelligence.
I'm probably going to make her like a...
Easily swayed by charismatic individuals.
Right. So, like, I'm thinking lawful good here.
Wow. Oh, wow. Lawful good, because, well,
She's got to be good. She's a protector.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, lawful good's a great.
unless someone in the chat can give me a convincing argument otherwise. I'm got to be lawful or neutral. Like,
Yes. I mean, lawful good sounds.
I
right.
never play lawful good characters.
As a bounty hunter, because
That's the thing. Yeah.
obviously someone's broke the law.
Right.
You just happen to, and you know you want to bring them to justice. If it happens to line your pockets with a little extra coin in favor.
Right. That's not
it's
necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
She's doing, she's chasing after these guys for, they did wrong, therefore they must be punished.
Right.
But maybe she butts heads with other members of the party because of that, because of her sort of
Well, everybody's gonna butt heads with Steve.
well, yeah, holier than thou kind of deal.
Right.
Charles says to piggyback off Alexander, she could have been tricked by love and betrayed by the lover who was part of the invading force. And then Craig says, nah, Robin Hood, chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
I mean, it's not, again,
Good by any means necessary.
good by any means necessary. I mean, neutral, they're all, as long as it's something good, I feel like that character is being justified.
Yeah.
Lawful is could be a very fun role-playing hook for your character in that, when the barbarian's like, well, why don't we just smash their heads in and get the answers? Well, that doesn't make you any better than the bad guy.
Right,
Type
right,
situation.
right.
It'd be, for role-playing purposes, could make it a very fun, engaging experience. But as chaotic, it'd be like, she might go, all right.
Right.
That sounds perfect, because they're not giving us the answers we want this way.
Right.
I mean, there's all sorts of...
I mean, again, I feel like, we've got sort of a neutral party otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to sort of have someone essentially being like the conscience.
Mm-hmm. But again, we have, I think, we have other options.
Right.
For the other characters.
Right.
Someone else could come and be the conscience. The cleric
That's true.
could be that, but, or the cleric could also be chaotic good and just be like, well, here's the thing.
Right. Fighting style. We got to go with archery here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because it's like, defense, dueling, protection. Like, nah, archery.
Yeah.
Yeah. +2 bonus to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons. Cool.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyone have any acid? That's a good one. Yeah, we got to get the answers out of this guy somehow. Anybody have any acid? What? Christopher Green says, AKA lawful hole. Words. But yeah, that can also be the case. A lot of people look at that alignment as very much
Holier than thou
Yeah.
and hoity-toity.
Yeah,
And
but it
stuck
doesn't-
up. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
right. But you're also an elf.
Yeah.
And
That's-
elves also have that
Well, here's
air.
the thing. Wood elf.
Right.
As opposed to a high elf.
High elf, very arrogant.
Very arrogant.
Wood elf, level of arrogance, but also levels of compassion.
Yeah. And I don't know that we've necessarily. Well, I mean, I wrote wood elf, so I guess we're going wood elf.
I think wood elf is the best.
I think that would lend itself.
Especially if we get a druid as a caster. That could be a pairing. Yeah, there's options.
High elf druid.
Oh my god, how annoying would that be?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
Major annoying.
yeah, yeah.
But probably very fun to play.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm thinking that. What do you guys want us to build next? That's a really
Right.
good question. What other party members do we have? I got to find miniatures, obviously, to throw them in here,
Right.
but there's some good options.
Phew. All right. So okay.
And on mine, I got to come up with my personality trait under the Outlander. I think I'm just going to roll for these, and if they kind of fit, they fit. If they don't, maybe we'll roll again.
Craig says, Superman, lawful good, Batman, chaotic good. Maybe.
Maybe. It's kind of, that's a good
guess.
analogy.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good
yes.
comparison.
Yeah,
I love
it's a
it.
good analogy. All right, so my bar for Kanan, who, by the way, for those of you that may not know, Cannon from Battlezone Comics in Las Vegas, who's usually in the chat for some of our programming, is the one who actually gave me this miniature, painted it himself at Gamma,
Oh wow.
and presented it to me. And I'm like, we have to make a character. And I just want to say thank you, Cannon, for that as well. All right, Halfling Drunken Monk next. Dang it, that's a good one.
Nice. Yeah.
That's a good one, too. It's like we're gonna have a party of 10.
We'll just keep rolling characters.
It'll be a
Whatever.
gang.
It's a good time.
All right, so 7. I feel far more comfortable around animals than people. That's his personality trait. I mean, I know people like that.
Well, so I do like the fighter build for this. This is actually cool because you get the second wind, which is on your turn you can use a bonus action to regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level.
Nice.
Once you use this feature, you must finish a short or long rest before you can use it again. Yeah, that's cool.
I like it.
That's cool. And then because we're going to be 3rd level, that means we also get the action surge, which means you can take one additional action on top of your regular action and an additional bonus action.
Jesus.
You just keep hitting them.
I think I'm going to go with his personality trait for Kanan Clobberjaw being, I watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups. And
That's really funny.
And I think I
That's
want to do
cute.
that is because he looks like, I mean, he just looks like a rough, angry individual. He's got a scar over his eye. You know, he's seen some stuff.
Right.
But he's only 1st level.
Right.
So maybe he wasn't always this fighter type. Maybe he was a tradesman or something like that.
Like a blacksmith somewhere.
A blacksmith, or maybe he was just a farmer who had kids. And of course, tragedy befell.
Well.
And maybe it was the same group of baddies that broke through your line of defense.
Craig says he's the dad figure
Yeah.
for the group.
Started his adventuring career late in life.
All right. So I got to find the wood elf.
Someone earlier mentioned they're excited for the Tomb of Foes coming out soon.
Yeah, that was Craig.
Yeah, it's going to be a good book.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
Me too.
it's a good time, man.
So I got to come up with my ideal, and life is like the seasons. It's in constant change, and we must change with it. I feel like that's more along the lines of this character. You know, like I said, he's coming into the adventuring world later in his life, and he had to make these changes, and he kind of accepts that change is just part of life.
Nice.
Alexander says, I like Lawful Good a lot. An alternative view of Lawful Good character is Judge Dredd and uncompromising and proud.
Ooh, truth.
And then Levi asks, what are we making today?
Hey, Levi, welcome.
He's finishing the Barbarian from last week, and I am working on a Wood Elf Arcane Archer.
Yeah.
So I'm just finishing up the stats on this girl now. This is the blue character over here. So
Yeah, so we're basically putting together a party of adventurers. If we were to take all the characters I've made for D&D on building character, I think we'd be right around 10 or 15 characters now.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, there was the half-orc monk female who has a didgeridoo as her, but it also works as a staff,
Yeah.
a quarterstaff.
That's funny.
And then there was a bard. It was like I was making a traveling band of, musicians.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so I get a +1 to Wiz for being a wood elf, so that
Nice.
takes me up to a 15.
Are we going to have a name for her?
We are.
Yeah, eventually. We'll presumably get to that. So yeah, wood elf good, fleet of foot excellent. I like this. Mask of the Wild is also real good for a someone who uses archery as the sort of primary weapon, because that allows you to hide even when you are only slightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena. So she can just be like whoosh.
Right.
Charles says, I love how much Dungeons & Dragons and the 5th edition has blown up in recent years. I've made more lifelong friends and family due to D&D.
Josh says the name for that character should be Shasta McNasty.
Why are you like this?
So Vaughn Cockrell says the action surge actually does not grant you an additional bonus action. The phrasing is about how everyone gets an action and a potential bonus action normally.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thanks, Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's.
I'm just reading stuff real quick here, so if I'm saying something that doesn't make any sense, definitely
Yeah.
call me out on it.
Craig says Ceridia Wild Runner for a name. That's kind of a cool name. Siridia. That's a cool spelling.
That's
too.
kinda cool.
Ceridia.
All right.
Mini Painting Studio says Telial Crackney.
Delil
Telial?
Crackney.
Ooh. All right. So all elves get a dex improvement, +2.
Lame, but awesome.
So that takes me up to 18.
Boom.
Kaylin Lightfoot.
Kaylin Lightfoot's good. I mean, Talil Crackney's cool too. But Crackney kind of sounds like Ankney, and that's my last name. So, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. My own kids. No, just kidding. Why do we have to have that last name? Why can't I be something cool? I'm like, well, I wanted to name you all Windrunner, but that wasn't going to work.
Well, my last name is Wood, so I guess it's appropriate that I'm making a wood elf.
Kenny likes your D20 necklace.
Thank you. I'm glad someone noticed. I wore it because I was going to be on here today. I got this at a craft fair a few years ago.
What was that one? Did Josh put another name on there? Leona, what
Yeah.
was it? What's that one?
Tatiana Thunderbutt.
That's a good one.
No,
Tatiana
it's
Thunderbutt.
Oh.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks.
Thunderbutt.
Alexander says
Hard pass.
Abathana Keen?
Abathana Keen.
Keen. Sorry. I'm gonna-
Keen.
Yeah, Keen. Abathana Keen. That's kind of cool too. There's some good names in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do like, Tatiana.
Yeah, I like the first name.
Tatiana. You like, okay.
The first name.
The first name. We'll go with something other than Thunderbutt. I feel like we can do better than that.
Wild Runner?
Wild Runner's interesting.
That is a good one. And she may have taken that name on herself, not as her actual
No,
given.
that's also true.
Because now she no longer is at the...
Elves are
Just-
so good.
Yes, they are
I
good.
like this. Fey Ancestry. Advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot put you to sleep.
Right. You're immune to those, and then where the rest of us suffer.
Fey Ancestry. Trance, right. They don't sleep.
Correct.
Necessarily.
ShadowOak is a good last name. Woodalinia Wildmane. Thunderboot. There. Oh, yeah. Thun.
Oh, he
This
spelled
is
it a
Alexander.
different way.
This is Alexander. He said Thun, Thoon, space Der, der, Bute. Thunderboot.
I'm done with this dude.
Woodalinia ShadowOak as well.
I like the last name ShadowOak. That's
ShadowOak
pretty
is good.
cool. Yeah.
Especially as a bounty hunter, arcane archer. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So ShadowOak, I would say,
All right.
winner. That could even just be her name. She has a full elven name, that could be very, sing-songy like elven names
because
are.
it's like,
but
what
she
do
goes
we
by
got
the
here?
ShadowOak.
Yeah. Just to pull directly out of the book, like Andraste Starflower, like that would be very sort of like sing-songy
Right.
and
That would be like her real name, but she
And
goes
if-
by the ShadowOak.
right.
Yeah.
So like, let's pull something flowery out of the book here,
Mm-hmm.
but like let's have it be a situation where maybe someone who survived the attack on her village calls her by her real name at some point.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's like a sticking point for her, where
Sure.
like she had abandoned that name, she abandoned that part of herself when she left the village.
Yeah. Yeah. And she wouldn't allow herself to be called it until she has her redemption. And even then, maybe she will just forget it in time and just continue as the ShadowOak. Ooh, dark and mysterious. Hold on. There's another one, Tatiana Fluffy Butt. Elrond copyright.
Or Tolkien trademark.
Tolkien trademark, all right.
Sorry, it's supposed to be Woodalina, but her nickname would be Woody.
Woody.
Rose tuber bulb. Flowery, right? Tuber bulb.
Tuber bowl.
Rose tuber bulb. That's, yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Wait a minute, is that German for Thunderbutt?
Tuber bulb?
Are they trying to sneak one by us?
Yeah. Ruth Vandersneeze. That's also from Josh.
Yeah. All right.
Great.
Which is Denomo in Elven. What's Paul's thing there? Paul.
All right.
ShadowOak is Denomo in Elven. Daenomo. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was actually part of her name. Maybe that was her like actual last name.
Denomo.
And then she switched to the common.
Common tongue.
The common translation when she left.
That's not bad. That's not bad. So the last thing I had to put on my character was flaw, and I took alcoholic.
Well, he's a barbarian.
The other flaws here are there's no room for caution in a life lived. Live it to the fullest. I remember every insult I've received and nurse a silent resentment toward anyone who's ever wronged me. I'm slow to trust members of other races, tribes, and societies. That was, those are all okay, but it's always interesting when someone can truly play someone that has a true enamored need for ale, wine, or other intoxications. And not just to be like, well, I'm a barbarian and I like my brew and I go in and get my ale and where's the nearest bar? But literally be like, role play it as, where you start getting like antsy and jittery because you haven't had a drink in a long while, and you always, you're stashing it in your saddlebags. Like literally play someone that has that issue.
Right.
It could go along with his like sad backstory of turning to be
Yeah, like he
barbarian.
He went into the whole. He fell into his drinks after whatever befell his family or his tribe or whatever, and had to pick up a sword, had to see some stuff he didn't want to see, do some things he didn't want to do, and in order to remove himself from that reality, he found it in his tankard. Now, he's finding that, well, I got to do something with my life.
Right.
And
interesting.
because he was a farmer and, got very strong because of plowing the fields or doing whatever, or hunting, he had to pick up a sword, and he found out he's very good with it. And that's the path he took. I'm going to start, hunting down bad guys. And that's where you guys all fall in together.
I got to roll up my hit die. My hit points.
Oh, your hit points? We're just doing max.
Oh, okay.
So a D10, I think, is hit points for that character plus con bonus.
It's a +2.
Yeah.
It's a 14.
Yeah.
And then I get...
It'll be like 36.
Yeah. That's fine. I'll just put that.
Where's the...
all right.
Yeah, Craig says he's drowning in his memories.
Yeah, for the role-playing aspect of it, it does make for a lot of fun.
All right, now I
and
got to start getting
realism.
into the Arcane Archer. So Just at 3rd level, so we got the. Okay, so you can choose to gain proficiency in either Arcana or Nature.
Well, I mean, Arcana.
Yeah.
You know. Josh also, as another name option, was Linnea Wildflower.
That would be interesting as like her true name.
Her true name.
Yeah.
Considering if it were Linnea, Linnaeus is, or the Linnea flower from Sweden is the national flower of Sweden. It's my daughter's name.
Kenny wonders, do you guys do max hit points every time you level up?
For these characters, because yes, for these characters, not in
Yeah.
our home games. Our homebrew, I usually do max at first, and then roll for second, or take the average, or the mean. And so if you have a D10, you get 6 plus your con instead of 10. So you're gonna get it. But I usually like to roll for it. But the person can take the option. You can either roll or take 6, or if you roll a D8 for your hit dice, you can either roll or take 5.
Right.
All
right.
Vaughn says there's a misprint in the arcane shot feature for the arcane archer. It doesn't require a magic arrow to use. Any
Okay.
arrow will do. It's a leftover from the unearthed arcana version that granted the magic arrow feature at the same time.
Nice.
Interesting. All right. So here's the thing. So I can take a cantrip. I can take Prestidigitation, which is always a fun one, but not necessarily a useful one.
Okay.
Or Druidcraft. And I'm not super familiar with Druidcraft, but I'm looking at it now. So that's Transmutation. So that would allow me to create a harmless sensory effect. It's similar to Prestidigitation, but
Okay.
is, like sort of falling leaves or a puff of wind. Sort of like, maybe use that to distract an enemy real
Sure.
quick.
Let's see what.
Prestidigitation is like, you do a magic trick. Like,
Could that be good?
yeah. They're very similar, which is why I imagine it's an either-or situation.
Yeah, this spell is a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. You create one of the following magical effects. You create an instantaneous harmless sensory effect.
Yep,
Instantaneously light or snuff out a candle.
yep.
Clean or soil an object. Chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material. Ooh, make someone's drink.
Tastes real nasty.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Woo. Yeah, I mean, they're almost
They're
exactly
almost
the same.
exactly the same. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to take Prestidigitation just because I think it's slightly more versatile than Druidcraft is.
Okay.
So,
And Alexander says one is more nature-based.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put that on.
Also, Craig says you should make a blood hunter. They have it
Blood
on D&D
hunter.
Beyond.
I'll have to look up the Blood Hunter class and see if it would fit what we're doing. Because one of the things that why we do it is because, if you
Did I
don't
spell
already
that?
own these books, you can get these books at your local game store.
Yeah. You know what else you can do at your local game store now?
Play D&D.
I was going to say
Dang it.
pre-order our book.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
We have a book?
Right?
We do have a book coming
Yeah,
out,
you
ladies and
can.
gentlemen.
It's officially up for pre-order right now. You can pre-order the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Game, which will cover such games as Dungeons and Dragons, of course, but
Yep.
also classic board games and card games and history of various companies and all sorts of good stuff. And that hit the Diamond Previews catalog this week.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also go to gemstonepub.com, pre-order directly from us,
Nice.
or you can go to your friendly local game store and tell them, hey, get me this book.
And funny story in regards to the book. If you watch Netflix, The Toys That Shaped Us or Raised Us, I think that's
Yeah.
what it's called. What?
The toys that made us.
Oh, they actually made us. Dang.
Wow,
The
right?
Toys That Made Us. Some of the information might kind of mirror a little bit
Yeah.
some of the content, instead of toy angle, it's coming from the game angle on some of the big companies out there. So it should be pretty interesting in that regard as well. and I
I've
say
been
should be,
working- I've
and
been
I
working
actually
real
know that
hard.
it is pretty interesting. Yes, Carrie has been working her tailbone off for this book, and it's going to be really good, and I think you guys should get it. If you're going to be at Origins, stop by the booth,
Yeah,
because we're
that's
going to
the
be
plan
there.
is to debut it at Origins, but of course, it's only $20. Got a ton of content in there. We interviewed some really cool people. We talked to Matt Mercer, and we talked to Peter Atkinson.
Yup.
We talked to Eliza Teague. Talked to a lot of folks, a lot of industry folks, and a lot of sort of, I don't want to be like common people, but like, you know, not people outside the industry who are collectors and gamers,
Right.
just like you guys who you would be able to relate to on a more visceral level, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, one of the collectors that we interviewed was Alan Naines, and Alan works for Bethesda Games
He sure does.
as one of the creators,
Yeah,
storyline creators
He's a senior designer, I think, at Bethesda. And
for Fallout.
yeah, I kind of wanted to shake him until he gave me information about Elder Scrolls 6, which we know it's being worked on, but no one's allowed to say anything.
Well, that's one of the things I think we need to get. There's another individual that works at ZeniMax up the street who used to work at TSR back in the day.
Oh no.
And his name's Zeb Cook.
Okay.
I'd like to get him in here one day for an episode of something like this, because
Yeah.
he actually does work on Elder Scrolls Online. So
ESO has been real interesting. I don't really play online games. I like to sit in my basement by myself and play my video games alone. Because I'm a sad individual, I guess. That's fine. I don't play games with other people unless it's tabletop games.
makes sense.
Video games I play by myself. Tabletop games I play with other people.
Yeah.
I don't like being yelled at by children on the internet. That's basically what it boils down to.
Craig says the Blood Hunter is a class made by Matt Mercer from Critical Role.
He's come up with a few interesting classes. I know he came up with the Gunslinger.
The Gunslinger.
That's a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
That Lord Masamune came up with.
It's crazy, right?
I was a cosplayer in the early 2000s, Matt Mercer. I know who you are.
Levi says,
That's
I
been
recommend
set off.
Neverwinter. I
yeah.
play Neverwinter on my Xbox. So if you want to add me on Xbox, I am LRD Thunderforge. Lord Thunderforge.
Without the O.
Right. One too many letters.
All right.
Also, Levi had asked what the third mini is.
Oh, the
Third-
green guy.
The third, yeah.
He was made a few weeks ago. That's
Yeah.
Hank and Steve. And I think the shield is Hank and the guy is Steve?
Opposite.
Opposite, yes.
Steve is the shield.
Steve is the shield. Steve is a sentient shield.
Yes.
He
He had been cursed.
Yep. He's been cursed and turned into a shield to protect his brother, who he never would have done in life.
Right.
In his true life. He would have just been like, oh, that boulder's coming? Let me push my brother in the way and I'll get away. That's how he was. But he got cursed because he was that way, and now he has to protect his brother. And his most valued thing in life was his face,
Right.
and now his face is the shield.
Yeah, the full episode's on YouTube
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
Facebook.
can go back and
Because there was a lot of story with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the arcane shot because I
Okay.
get 2.
Oh,
I
wow.
think later on I get to choose more,
As you advance.
but I get 2. Yeah.
Okay.
You get an additional arcane shot option of your choice when you reach certain levels in this class, starting at 7th. So, cool. I feel like Shadow Arrow would be very interesting. So that is you weave illusion magic into your arrow, causing it to occlude your foe's vision with shadows. The creature hit by the arrow takes an extra 2d6 psychic damage, and it also must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be unable to see anything farther than 5 feet away until the start of your next turn.
Wow.
So that would be something where if you get the initiative to start the round,
Mm-hmm.
you hit that guy, and then he's useless for the rest of the round, basically. And that allows the rest of your party
Wow.
members to sort of get the jump on him.
That's not bad.
No, it's real good.
Yeah.
Seeking Arrow would also be good. You don't make an attack roll for the attack. Instead, just choose one creature you have seen in the past minute. The arrow flies towards that creature, moving around corners if necessary, and ignoring 3/4 cover and half cover.
That's pretty good.
Levi says shadow arrow for ShadowOak. Brilliant.
Yeah, right. It goes with the theme.
I also
But like
that,
all of these are really cool.
yeah, that seeking arrow is sick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Yondu's.
Yeah, right.
This-
Right. I'm taking Seeking Arrow for sure. So like all of these are really cool. Bursting Arrow is the energy detonates after your attack.
Did you erase it from 18 from the +2?
I thought it was +2
No,
goes there.
No.
Oh, okay.
It becomes an 18.
18 permanently.
Yeah. So, Alexander, Dex mod is going to be +4 because it is an 18. So this character is going to be wicked bad words with this.
Wicked strong, yo.
Yeah, it's going to be wicked awesome, eh? And yeah, this party's going to be sick.
15 is a +2. 14, 15? 13 is a
14,
+1?
15 is +2. 16, 17 +3.
+3.
Mm-hmm. Come on, make Steve and ShadowOak have been lovers. That's wow, Craig. Not yet. Not yet. That's too soon. Too far. Too soon. Maybe later. Maybe they'll find.
Just because it's a female character, that doesn't mean that she has to be in a romantic relationship
With a shield.
With anyone in any of this party.
Yeah, especially with a shield.
With a shield. Get out of here. She is a strong wood elf who don't need no man.
Wow. I mean, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, right? Oh,
Yeah.
like this is tough because like Seeking Arrow, like obviously take the Seeking Arrow.
Right.
100%. That's easy. So
Yeah, Brad says seeking arrow sounds great.
yeah, Seeking Arrow is very cool. Target takes damage as if it were hit by the arrow plus an extra 1d6 force damage.
Ooh, nice.
And you learn the target's current location.
Oh wow, it's like beep beep beep.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yep. Nailed it. I like Bursting Arrow because that's
Is it an area effect?
Immediately after the arrow hits the creature, the target and all other creatures within 10 feet of it take 2d6 force damage each.
Dang. That's crowd control right there.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's real good. Enfeebling Arrow is necrotic damage. The target must... the creature hit by the arrow takes an extra 2d6 necrotic damage on top of the damage that it would have taken
Wow.
by the regular arrow. And then the target must also succeed on a con throw, or the damage dealt by its weapon attacks is halved until the start of your next turn.
Wow.
There's like this is cool, and like the problem is that everything is cool, and you can only choose 2 of them, which I guess balances the game somewhat.
Brad says the miniatures look awesome.
They do.
Yeah. So Hank and Steve and the female wood elf there. What did we come with their name?
ShadowOak.
ShadowOak. Are pre-painted miniatures available through at your local game store?
Those are WizKids.
Those are from
Yeah.
WizKids, yeah. They were either in the
think-
Icons of the Realms or some of the Pathfinder.
Yeah, I think
boxes.
ShadowOak here came out of one of the blind boxes that we did a few
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Oh, they both did.
Oh, did
Yeah,
they? Okay.
mhm. And then I'm not sure what line the Barbarian is from. All I know is it was a wonderful gift from Canon.
Yeah.
Again, thanks, Canon. Hey, Chris. Everybody likes the Shadow Arrow.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Shadow Arrow. Okay, so Seeking Arrow and Shadow Arrow.
Yeah, Burst might be something for another level as you
Yeah.
get. Be
As,
like-
as you get higher and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we'll take Seeking and Shadow Arrow. Yeah, Shadow Arrow is extra 2d6 psychic damage. Must succeed on a Wiz saving throw or be unable to see anything until the start of your next turn.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're bounty hunting and you may only be on the tail of one individual.
Right.
And you want to,
You want to slow that guy down
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. But DMs being DMs, doing what they do. These individuals tend to come in gangs. or have, henchmen or
Right.
sidekicks. And that's when that bursting arrow is going to come into
Yeah.
effect. It would be really good.
Sneak up on them, open the door, and there's like a bunch of them in the tavern
Mm-hmm.
already or whatever, and you're just like, pip, and then blow them all up all
Yeah.
at once.
You hit the main target. Everybody around him gets that four.
Yeah.
I kind of think of like when the Dragon Ball Z when they punch the ground and everything's like. Whoosh.
Dragon Ball Super just ended. Did anyone in the chat watch Dragon Ball Super? I thought it was good.
I watched some of it.
So, Arcane Archer, since this is level 3, so we just became an Arcane Archer, so we won't get to the later level stuff, but just to discuss. 7th level, you get Magic Arrow, which is the ability to infuse arrows with magic.
Okay.
Whenever you fire a non-magical arrow from a bow, you can make it magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity.
Nice.
Curving Shot, also at 7th. You learn how to direct an errant throw toward a new target. When you make an attack roll with a magic arrow and miss, you can use a bonus action to re-roll the attack roll at a different target within 60 feet of the original
Oh, wow.
one.
Excuse me.
So it's like you're like, oh, I shot and I missed, but there's a guy
Right.
over there, and you just sort of will it, I guess.
It's gonna go. Oh, and you're like, there you go, buddy.
Right.
Tikink. Very cool.
All right.
Well, we are at our time, ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen.
wow,
Yeah.
already?
Yeah. Well, it was a good build.
It was.
We got excited about the characters, which is one of the great things about Dungeons and Dragons. For those of you that are new to this and are just tuning in and seeing what we do here at Building Character, we want to show you that excitement, that experience of building a character you're going to be able to play is just so much fun, and it's so engaging, and to be able to take on a role of a character that obviously we can't do in real life
Right.
is just a blast.
It's fun.
And when you get to do it with your friends, mega blast.
Yeah. I'm so excited to play tonight. Just having done this, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm ready. And it's like I'm not even playing this character that I got
Right.
excited about. I'm playing my tiefling tonight.
Which is awesome.
Hey, he's a fun time. He looks like the devil, but he's got an angelic voice, and
All right.
he's got his lyre
Ooh.
because he's
It's
a liar.
Bards.
Bards are so fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And again, pre-order our book at your friendly local game store through Alliance, or at your local comic book shop through Previews, or go to gemstonepub.com and pre-order the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games, out this June, which I guess means we need to finish the book.
Yeah. And she's almost there.
We're close. It'll be done.
All
We'll be
right.
on time.
Very well. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat
Thank you.
and everything. This has been Building Character. I've been Rick,
I'm Carrie.
and we'll see you at the game store.
Thanks for watching Building Character. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.